Have you ever wondered how mainstream artists achieve such big sounding hooks? Is it something that they're doing in the recording or the mixing phase of the process? In this week's tutorial, I'm going to show you how I personally create big sounding hooks in my sessions. Hey, what's going on? This is your boy Five Piece, producer and engineer extraordinaire. Are you an artist, producer, engineer, or music professional that's looking for funding for your music career? Could you benefit from having funding for studio time, mixing and mastering, or even marketing costs? I think I have something for you. I've written a free ebook. It's 9 pages, super short and digestible, where I break down the 6 main places that artists and professionals like yourself can find funding for their musical projects. If this sounds like it's of value to you, please click the link below and you can download this for free today and benefit from this knowledge. I hope this helps. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.
Five.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Five Piece, producer and engineer extraordinaire. Thanks for checking out this video, and if you haven't already, please hit the bell and the subscribe button below to stay tuned for more helpful tutorials in the future. As I mentioned at the beginning, in this week's lesson, we're going to be talking about hooks and how to make them sound bigger. This specifically focuses on a little bit of the recording process and also how you handle things in the mix. I got a session here set up, so let's jump in and I'll show you what's going on. So let's talk about vocals and how to position your vocals, especially for a hook on your song. Typically, when I'm dealing with a mix or when I'm actually recording an artist, we tend to do multiple takes of a hook and we stack them together in a specific way to basically achieve this final product that we're after, right? Sometimes hooks are just one vocal, which is fantastic too. Some people like to do that. It's just very clean. And obviously, the less there is in a mix, the easier it is to mix technically because there's less to balance it against or there's less to compete with that original sound. Whereas when you have multiple vocal takes, you essentially have to carve out room for every single one. And it could lead to some more problems or conflicts when you're mixing because you have to obviously deal with these multiple vocals that may be sitting in the same area frequency-wise and could basically create mud or congestion or anything like that. It just sort of depends on the track. Now, I want to just break down how I usually structure my vocal hooks. And this is not necessarily a blanket statement where every single time it's like this, but this is a good system or formula to sort of follow when you're recording your hooks to achieve that really wide, fat vocal sound. Now, I have this song here. It's Tunnel Vision by Left Field Keel. I've played it in past tutorials as well, but I thought it's a good example for a rap song at least, of how you can stack your hooks together to achieve this result that I'm talking about. Now, if I just play the hook of this song, you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about and we can kind of dive in. And I'm specifically going to want to zone in on the second half of the hook here where more vocals come in, but let's just play the full hook to the verse.
Pull up on the scene, y'all know what I'm coming for. Tunnel vision for the paper, yeah, these bitches come and go. Thumbing through a grip, I'ma need 100 more. Living for the moment, when it's time to go, we never know. Pull up on the scene, y'all know what I'm coming for. Tunnel vision for the paper, yeah, these bitches come and go. Thumbing through a grip, I'ma need 100 more. Living for the moment, when it's time to go, we never know. Money on my mind.
I'm gonna pause it there, but you get the idea for the hook. You could tell the second half of the hook has more energy, more elements come in. Almost feels like a crowd, sort of. Not fully, but just, feels like there's a lot more people performing. And really, it's just Keel performing multiple times and also using different cadences and different voices, in a sense, to achieve this effect. Now, the first half is pretty simple. And I would recommend this as sort of the base level of your hook. But what that would be is you're always going to have one vocal in the center. Notice my panning here. Don't really worry about my processing, but my panning for this main vocal is just dead center, right? And this is also going to be the loudest vocal. It's going to be the lead. Now, stacked underneath that are 2 additional vocals, which are these yellow colored tracks here. And pay attention to the panning again. It's panned hard left and hard right. And these 2 takes, as a note, they're very much the same. They're pretty much exactly the same. You want them to be the same. And you want them to just essentially fatten up this first vocal. So they should be performed exactly the same, same tonality, same cadence, same performance. But because obviously the artist is doing it a second time, or 3 times in this case, each of those takes will have a slightly nuanced difference between them, and that difference will essentially help create a wider stereo image because each of these differences, they all add up, right? And then on top of that, we're panning each of these hard left and hard right, 100 to the left, 100 to the right, in addition to this main vocal. So if I just mute the beat for a second and just play this one part, we can focus in and see how it sounds.
Pull up on the scene, y'all know what I'm coming for. Tunnel vision for the paper, yeah, these bitches come and go. Thumbing through a grip, I'ma need 100 more. Living for the moment, when it's time to go, we never know.
So you can kind of see how that just makes it feel a little bit wider, right? If I get rid of these and play it.
Pull up on the scene, y'all know what I'm coming for. Tunnel vision for the paper, yeah, these bitches come and go.
I'll pause it there, but you kind of get the idea. There's obviously a very significant difference. Now, this is the first half of the hook, and the reason why we formulated this hook this way is we wanted it to be a little more stripped down and building. You could tell with the beat, too, there isn't really full drums. It's more just like an 808, the instrumentation. And then the second half, this half, is where the song really picks up. The energy comes in, the drums come in, all that stuff happens. And then in addition to what we originally did, being, the 3 vocal takes, the main and the panned hard left, hard right take, we've decided to add 3 additional layers of vocals. Let me just double check. Yeah, we've decided to add 3 layers of vocals in order to just enhance this even more so it really, really hits and it feels like this section has a lot more energy and more impact. We followed the same format in a way. We have 3 vocals. One is panned in the center. So again, this is centered pretty much right underneath this one. It's a little bit lower in volume, although the number doesn't matter. It's more about the context and how it sounds. And then we have 2 additional takes, which are essentially copies of this one, I believe, and it's panned hard left and hard right again. So now we have 2 tracks on the left, 2 tracks on the right, and 2 tracks in the center, but only on this second half. And then, of course, I've done some additional processing to just make them sit and fit a little bit better together. But let's just take in what these 3 tracks sound like on their own, and then I'll put them in the context.
Pull up on the scene, y'all know what I'm coming for. Tunnel vision for the paper, yeah, these bitches come and go. Thumbing through a grip, I'ma need 100 more. Living for the moment, when it's time to go, we never know.
So you could tell Keel performed this, or these 3 takes, he performed them at a higher cadence, a higher tonality. Sounds different from the original, because the original is a much lower tonality, as you may remember. Just for an example, I'll show you.
Pull up on the scene.
You can hear how much lower that is, obviously. So when we put them all together, you're going to see, especially from this transition onward, you're going to see this part really picks up.
Living for the moment, when it's time to go, we never know. Pull up on the scene, y'all know what I'm coming for. Tunnel vision for the paper, yeah, these bitches come and go. Thumbing through a grip, I'ma need 100 more. Living for the moment, when it's time to go, we never know.
So you can kind of see how that really changes the energy and makes that chorus feel a bit wider, a bit bigger. And then, of course, following this, we're going to drop into a single vocal right here for the verse. And there's probably a little bit of ad-libs and stuff, but for the most part, just a one-focused vocal panned in the center. And then for the next hook, we're right back to that same format where you have something in the center, something panned hard left, and something panned hard right. And then that obviously increases with the second half of the chorus. And there you have it, just a couple of ideas of how you can create bigger sounding hooks in your records using some recording tricks and some mixing and panning techniques as well. Hope you got value out of this tutorial. If you did, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends, your producer friends, artist friends, anybody you know would benefit from this knowledge. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below so I can shoot a future tutorial or reply back and answer it directly. Hope this helps. I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.
5